Hello everyone, good afternoon, happy Wednesday. How are you guys? Hope you're having an awesome day. It feels like it's been quite a while since I've talked to you guys, so I'm excited to be with you all today. As you're tuning in, let me know where you're from, let me know that you can hear me okay, and we'll get started. I have something I was reading today that I really wanted to share with you guys because it was just really good tips that I wanted to share with you all today. So as you're tuning in, please say hello below. Don't be a stalker and let me know where you're tuning in from and say hello. It's always nice to see where everyone's coming in from. Hey Nicole, hey Bryce, how are you? Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know. Sometimes I have technical difficulties. Awesome. Thanks Bryce, how are you? Hey Caesar, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. 2 more days till the weekend. Hey Angela, how are you? If you're tuning in live, drop a 1. If you're watching the replay, for those of you that'll be on here later, just give me a 2 below. Thank you so much. Hey Natty, how are you? How are things in Spain? Welcome. How's everyone doing today? God, it feels like it's been forever. I guess it has been a few days since I've been on. So for those of you who are new to my broadcast, my name is Stephanie Skokowski, and I'm coming to you live from Pennsylvania. No worries, Bryce. I'll talk to you later. Have a good one. And my passion is empowering you to be your best you in your mindset, in your health, in your wellness, in your business, pretty much all areas of life, because there is no competition except for the person that's staring back at you in the mirror. So that's my true passion. That's what I love, helping others and just realizing all of us are unique. And that's something we're going to be chatting about today, on how to get into that sweet spot. Hey Thomas, how are you? Welcome. So thank you all for tuning in. If you find value in this broadcast, feel free to share it. I think it would be a great thing to do, that you might have some friends that you think, oh my goodness, so-and-so needs to hear this. Feel free to share it if you find value in what I'm doing. How's everyone doing today? Hey Andrew, how are you? Hey Thomas, welcome. Okay, so let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered what your purpose is? Why you might not have found it yet, or that you feel deep down, you know, you're here for a reason, but you just don't know what that is yet. Does that sound familiar? Hey Andrew, coming from Connecticut. Very cool. Let me know if you've ever felt that way. Is that just me, or have any of you ever felt that way? Like, why am I here? Or how about this? You're tired of going through the motions, or you're not feeling fulfilled working for the weekends, dreading Mondays. If this sounds like you, I think you're going to love what I want to share with you today. Stay tuned. I'm going to have some great tips. This book that I'm reading, I don't know if any of you heard of Max Lucado. Awesome author. Hey Maritza, how are you? Marzia, I'm sorry, I pronounced your name wrong. It's been so long. Hope you're well. I love this book. It's called Cure for the Common Life. I know it's backwards, but you kind of get the gist of it. Hey Dana, how are you, sweetie? And he shares some awesome tips in this book. I was reading it this morning and I thought I need to share it with you guys because it's just so good. You know, and you know, a lot of times on My Lives, we talk about how to not compare ourselves to others. No comparison, staying in your own lane, not looking to the left or to the right, working on you. And this really ties in a lot on becoming your best you. But do you realize most of us, all of us really, we've already been given clues as to what the best paths could be for us. God, I believe, already gave us like a region, a zone, almost like a precinct of where we can dwell. You know, how do you do that? How do you figure out what you were made to do? You know, there's no pills to pop. There's no class you can really take. Hey, Jerry, how are you? Welcome. Thanks for joining. You know, you really just need to start thinking about what makes you unique. You know, I believe God gave us all specific skills that we're born with, and studying your skills, figuring out what you're good at, what seems to be effortless, kind of can help reveal what your purpose might be. You know, it'll start getting revealed to you. Heed that inner voice, or listening to that inner music, and no one's going to hear it quite the same way that you do. Does that make sense? You guys with me so far? And I think sometimes we overcomplicate it. And Max, in this book, and I'll hold it up again, I'll put the title in the comments below. He really gives some great points. I might actually do a couple lives on this because I only read the first 2 chapters, and there's so many good things on there. Hey Vicky, how are you? So when you look back over your life, here's some things you can do. What have you consistently done well? Hey, Corinne. What have you loved to do? When you stand at like the intersections of your affections, what you love to do and things that you do well, you're going to start finding your uniqueness, that zone, that sweet spot that you're in. Like I said, we've all been given special talents and ways that we can serve others. There really is no excuse of, I don't have anything to offer. I'm not good at anything. I can't do anything. That's bunk. I don't believe it. We all have something. But again, if we're comparing and worrying about unique skills, or not unique, but just skills in general of what other people have, oh, I wish I was outgoing as this girl over here, or I wish I was as active and athletic as this person over here. When you're constantly looking at and coveting skills that other people have, you're ignoring your own uniqueness. What if we all were identical and we were all the same? How boring is that? We would be like a bunch of minions. Our abilities can unveil what our destiny could be, what we're uniquely good at. And, social media doesn't help because now everybody's in our face from all over the world and we're seeing everybody's highlight reel. Hi, Athena. Hey, John. Welcome. Thanks for joining. So when we're constantly looking at everybody else, we're taking the focus off of ourselves and off, that's right, compare-itis syndrome. That's right, John. And we're taking the focus off of our own unique self. Put your blinders on, act like you're that racehorse and you're in the gate, and you also have your blinders on that you can't look to the left or to the right. And also think about this as it ties in with your careers, because my goodness, they consume half of our lifetime anyway. It shouldn't be spent doing things that we weren't born to do, that we shouldn't be enjoying our work. And so some objections you might be thinking is, all right, that sounds great, Steph, but my work is simply that. It's work. It's work to pay my bills. But it numbs my soul. Or job satisfaction, what's that? I don't have job satisfaction. It's more like job survival. Does that sound like you? Are any of you right now feeling like I'm just doing what I have to do to pay the bills, working for the weekend? Hey, Dennis, how are you? Long time no see. Hi, Holly. How do I survive this job misfit? Or maybe you feel like you have no clue how to find your skills. Or I'm in my 40s. Maybe there's a lot of you out there thinking it's too late. Start over now? That's ridiculous. I'm too far gone. I've made a mess of my life. It's too late to turn back now. So maybe some of these things are ringing home to you. Maybe this is sounding like you right now. But here's some simple things that you can do just to get started. Hey, Ricky. How are you? I saw you hop on here, so you better say hello. So number one is unpack your bags of skills. Unpack it. God has given you your own unique skills. You're made on a purpose for this time and place in history right now. There's a reason you were born when you were born. You were made for a purpose. And if this sounds like news to you, maybe you've been living out of someone else's bag. Maybe you've been living out of the wrong bag. And Max in this book gives a great analogy of the airport, where he was at the airport. He was all excited that his bag came on the carrier right away. He grabbed his bag, ran to the hotel, only to find out that he had the wrong bag, right? Does that ever happen to you before? That happened to me one time. I grabbed someone's bag. Drop a 3 below if that's you. Did you ever grab someone's bag by mistake, or someone else grabbed your bag? So what do you do in that case? Once you're back in the hotel, you open it up, you see it's the wrong case, obviously. All the stuff in there is not even yours. So what do? Do you cram your body into the tight clothes and make it fit anyway, and you're going to wear it and just make do with what you've been given, even though it wasn't meant for you? The stuff in that bag wasn't meant for you. Those are skills and other blessings and abilities, whatever, that were for somebody else, not you. So of course, in reality, you're not going to make do with what's in that bag. You're going to go rushing back to the airport. You're going to go to security into the office, and you're going to hunt down your bag until you get it back, right? It's the same thing. No one wants to live out of someone else's bag. I love that analogy. So why do we? Why do we do that? Most likely it might have been because somebody forced you or urged you early on in life to do it. Families and businesses Families might have a family business, or your parents, or let's say, generations. There was a generation of farmers. Your grandfather was a farmer. I'm a farmer. You're going to be a farmer, or whatever. Pick your career. It just starts to become family tradition. Hi, Pam. How are you, sweetheart? Haven't talked to you in a while. Or maybe it's teachers. Oh, why do you want to be just a stay-at-home mom? You have all these great skills. Why would you want to waste it and not go to college, or whatever? Or the opposite. Why do you want to go to college? You'll never be a writer. You're not good enough. You don't have the academic abilities. You don't have the grades. And I think we all know enough legends out there who've been told that stuff, and thankfully they didn't listen. So, or other significant people that we look up to and we admire and respect, and they're putting these other ideas in. They mean well. Don't get me wrong, but think about this statistic fully. There's 70% of us that go to work without any enthusiasm, no passion. There's 1/4 of us who are unhappy on the job, or they say that their job is the number one stress in their life. Yet we spend so much time doing that. So what's the solution? Start unpacking your bag. Make sure you got the right one, not somebody else's. Start believing and looking at the skills and the passions that you already have. I believe God selected your temperament, your character, your personality. You're made a certain way for a reason. And so think about skills and passions you might have. Things that come easy to you, that they might not come easy to other people. They're there for a reason. Or what do you love doing so much that you would do it for free? Hey, Crystal, how are you, honey? So know this. You can do something no one else can do in a particular fashion that no one else can do it in. Even if you're doing similar tasks, you can still do it in a certain way that's unique to you, because you're wired differently than anyone else. So it's time to start exploring your uniqueness and what starts making you tick. So are you ready for some tips? I'm going to share some things that Max wrote about in his book on how you can get started in figuring out what that is, how to find that sweet spot. So one of the things you can do, besides unpacking your bag, what did you say, Ricky? Babysitter should have been my profession. I love being with my kids. You're meant to be a dad, Ricky. That's for darn sure. You're an awesome dad. And that's so awesome. And you're blessed that you're able to be home with your kids. Hey, Amy. Welcome, honey. So take some time to unpack your bag and really think about what it is that naturally comes good to you, what comes with ease, and then take some time to reflect. This is number 2. Take some time to reflect on memories throughout your life and throughout your childhood. If you're later on in life, even think about young adulthood and your youth. What those moments where you felt like you were running on all 8 cylinders, like you were just on, where time just seemed to stop and stand still, and all this energy was unlocked in you. Take some time to really think back on those memories. What were you doing? What entranced you and energized you? Do you note any common themes throughout the different seasons in your life? Were you always maybe fixing things? Were you always talking? Were you always looking to be the center of attention? Were you always networking, leading? Those past things that we did in our childhood represent our future as well, because we were naturally wired to do those things before you were told that maybe you shouldn't do them. I always joke with my mom about this because I have a vivid childhood memory. I'm going to share this with you. Being in the backyard with my girlfriends and friends, and we're just playing, and I just naturally like to organize ideas and do things. And my mom used to yell out the back window, "Stop being so bossy." I'm like, I'm not trying to be bossy. I just have this idea and I want to facilitate it, and let's go. And I usually got people to do it. So, think about times in your childhood when you were doing things that just seemed to come naturally. Like I said, our past can represent our future, like what you were wired to do. Okay, number 3, this is a good one, and you might want to write this down. You want to study your story, and that's an acronym, STORY. 5 questions that can help you find your purpose. So number 1 is S is for strength. And we kind of talked about this a minute ago when we were saying unpacking your bags. What are your strengths? What do you seem to do that's effortless? What are the things that come to you so easily that you genuinely wonder why others can't do it as well? Or why don't they get this? Because it's easy for me. Why isn't it easy for you? What are your strengths? Number 2 is the letter T, the topic. What's your topic? What are the objects that you enjoy working with? Are you an animal lover? Do you like working with numbers and statistics? Are you a people person and you like to work with people? What are the objects that you like to work around? Number 3, or the letter O, what are your optimal conditions? What triggers your motivation? Again, this is all from this book, and I'll share the title later on in the link below in the comments. But what triggers your motivation? Some love to respond to the need of others and help. Others like problems to solve. Others like routine and predictability, where others want variation and surprise. What starts your engine? Do you like to build things? Do you like to maintain things? Do you like things structured? Or do you like open-ended possibilities? So those are your optimal conditions. Think about that. Write them down. And then R is for relationships. What about the relationships? Think back over moments where you've had moments of success or satisfaction. You just felt fulfilled. Were you working with a group of people? Do you seek out people to work with? Or do you prefer to work alone? Do you not only like to be in a group, but you like to lead the group because you just have ideas that you want to share? Know what your ideal relationship pattern is. And then finally, when you put all those together, oh, thank you, Ricky. Okay, got distracted there by the comments for a minute. When you put all those things together, you come up with your why, which is yes, like all those things together, like you want to look up into the sky and say, I was made for this. Those moments, hey Samantha, welcome, where whatever it is you were doing, it's kind of like they talk about the sweet spot of when you hit the baseball, in the right spot. When you talk about sports or tennis, you just know when you hit that sweet spot. Well, there are moments in life where you just feel like everything's in alignment. So when you have your strengths and the topics and the conditions and your relationships, when they all gel the way they should, you just feel like you want to look up and say yes. That's when you know you're now living out your story. Hey, Shelly from Canada. Welcome, sweetheart. So I love this quote. If I'm me, then how can I mess me up? How can I mess this up? If you find out what generally gets your engine going, and it comes to be in you, finding out who you are, you were made for that part. Take the time to go through these steps and really figure that out, because life's too short to be working 9 to 5, 40 plus hours or more and just living and working for the weekend. What good is that? You know you're in your sweet spot if you can't wait for Monday, or you love what you're doing. I heard the story of an person that traveled a lot, and he was on one airline, and the air flight attendant was just miserable. It was obvious she didn't love her job. She was cranky. She pretty much gave the impression of sit down, shut up, and don't call on me for anything. Then he was on another flight where the one airline attendant, she personally greeted every single passenger, introduced herself. She even sang a song over the intercom. Like, she was so bubbly that the guy said, you must really like your job. And she's like, oh my gosh, I love it. I used to be a teacher. And then she lost her job and she ran into this new career and she just loved it. It fit all those parts that she needed. It worked on her strengths. She was working with the right people and the optimal conditions and relationships, and she was in her sweet spot. You can tell the difference. So I encourage you to take the time to seek these things out as well for you with these steps, because then you can play your part and you can speak your lines with confidence. At the back of this book, he's got a great sweet spot discovery guide, Max Lucado. If you would like a copy of that, just let me know. I'll shoot one over to you. And if I can ever help you guys in any way, helping you become your best you, I'm only a message away. So I just wanted to share that with you guys this afternoon. Enjoy your evening. 2 more days till the weekend. Hey, Erin, how are you, honey? Hi, Jerry. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful evening. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.